Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are sitting down and reviewing and reacting to some makeup. I asked on Instagram for some video ideas and my own sister responded to me and told me that I should react and I added roast her doing her own makeup. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that today. So if you're interested in seeing what I have to say, then please keep watching this video. So my sister has sent me a whole bunch of videos of her doing her own makeup, and I'm a professional makeup artist, so I'm going to be reacting to how she does her own makeup and hopefully give you guys some tips. And if you do your own makeup, you can implement these ideas. If you want to send me videos, then go ahead and do so. I would love to react to you guys' doing your own makeup on future videos if you guys are interested in this kind of video. So make sure to send that to me through Instagram. I'll be glad to see it. Or you can even email me. I have my email listed down below. So yeah, let's get started.
Hi guys, I'm gonna be doing my makeup. Let's see how this turns out. Well, I have moisturizer on my face. I have like nothing on. This is residual from yesterday.
So first things first, I do appreciate that there's moisturizer on the face. Residual from yesterday, I personally don't love to work on residual from yesterday because it can affect what comes later.
My sister's probably gonna judge me about it.
Yes, I will.
The way I do my makeup is really just kind of to enhance my natural features. So I really like to focus on making my eyes look bigger than like as opposed to like itty bitty little beady eyes. I like a really sculpted look, but I want my skin to also be natural. So that's kind of how I do my makeup.
I can appreciate that there are intentions with doing your makeup. That's definitely something that I do in my own personal practice. I do things with intention and I don't just do things just willy-nilly. I do things with a lot of intention to get a desired result. So that's nice.
Throw this concealer on. This is the one from MAC. It's a Studio Fix 24-hour concealer.
I don't love to prime with concealer just because some concealers are designed to be very hydrating. So I find that if you use concealer on your eyes and it's more of a hydrating consistency and you have maybe more oily eyelids, the eyeshadow tends to crease faster and won't last you as nicely.
I just kind of blend and I really just tap everything in place like that. And then I clean it in between, like in between steps. I always clean my brush like that. And I'm gonna set it with MAC Studio Fix.
So I can appreciate that she's setting her base. That's definitely something that I do. And it's a good tip, especially if you're gonna use concealer, because it'll help to set it and somewhat avoid some of that oiliness from coming through of the hydrating consistency. But yeah, I've done that.
This brush is from Sigma. It's the E45 brush. And I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. Just kind of like tapping it and swiping it very lightly. And I build it up a few times just to get the color more intense.
So I'm noticing, especially as she's blending, that most of the product is on the side of the brush, and that's because she's dipping it in like this, and then that's not gonna get the desired result that you want. So especially with a blending brush, the whole point of a blending brush is that it's tapered on the tip. So if you're doing a transition with a blending brush, you wanna make sure that you're dipping into the pan like this and not like this, just because you're not gonna get the desired result. You're changing the way the brush works. So try to dip in like this and then apply it into the crease like this in windshield wiper motions, and you'll get the more of a desired result. You can see here that the transition is going more towards the bottom of her eye and more towards the lid instead of going upwards, which is where you typically want the transition shade to be. And that's because the product is on this side, it's not on the tip. So if you're applying it like this and the product is on this side, you're just gonna get the blend downward instead of the blend upward.
With this one, it's a little darker. And that one I start, like, as I start getting darker, I start moving it like more towards the back of the eye.
You can definitely use the same blending brush with different shades. It's just gonna be a little bit more difficult, which is typically why I like to have a few blending brushes in my kit, just because it's gonna be harder if you use the same brush and you go darker. If you then later on want to blend it out, you can't do that with that same brush because now that brush is full of the dark eyeshadow. Even if you clean it off on a towel, it's still gonna have some of that dark eyeshadow pigment in there. It's gonna end up looking a little bit muddy.
I like this corner here, and then just flick it out. Not that much, not that much. Just, okay, let's see.
So you see how, like, exactly what I was saying earlier, if you want to eventually blend it out and blend it outwards, you're gonna get that streakiness and that kind of like smudge there because you have product within the brush. As much as you'd clean it off on a towel, it still has product in there, so you're gonna get that really smudgy kind of look and that kind of muddiness. So exactly what I said.
I'm gonna just, the first fluffy brush that I use for my concealer, I'm gonna just bring that up here. I want to blend everything. I feel like there were some harsh lines there.
I don't think that using the brush that you had concealer on is a great idea because it's holding the concealer product still on it. As much as you clean it off on a towel, it still has product on it. So you're just at this point mixing the cream with the powder, and that tends to disrupt the eyeshadow. So not a great idea.
Thing I do, I learned this from my sister, my lovely sister. I'm gonna line the waterline, the upper waterline, with this Lancome 24-hour drama liquid pencil. No, liquid pencil, but it's like actually like a pen type of thing. And I hate doing it, but it really makes a huge difference.
Love that. It's definitely something that I do often. It just makes the eyes look a little bit more put together because sometimes you have that flesh coming through, so it just makes the eyes look a little that much put together.
Time with it. Why is it not painting? Okay, I'm gonna tub just a little bit.
It's possibly a new one. Just throwing it out there. Get the Tarte Man-Eater. It's way better.
I kind of messed it up there.
Yeah, going in with a felt tip eyeliner like that, or a liner pen like this instead of like this, is danger zone. You are gonna get a whole bunch of mess. So then, if a felt tip, if you're gonna go like this, you're gonna get better results. But if you start going like this, you're in danger zone. You're gonna get this weird kind of drag and it's gonna get messy.
Is go with this Pro Concealer from LA Girl right over here, because I do really like a sculpted look.
So no comments so far on the contour. It's fine. Doing it before foundation is fine too. I'm just curious to see what happens afterwards.
Skin smoothing complexion brush number 704. I coat the brush evenly, and then I start here in the middle of the face, which is where I want the most product, and then I kind of
completely covered the contour. And you guys can see right here, like the contour comes right about here, and the first initial placement that she just did was like right here. So you just covered like half of the contour, and then as you go blending it out, you're just gonna cover all of the contour. So maybe next time, just maybe start like here or in the forehead area and blend it out. She just kind of like, my issue with the contour is that drew lines here, blended it, but not really enough. Like, it was just like a minimal amount. So any kind of foundation that she went over top with, which she did go over top of it with, is just non-existent at this point. If you notice in the video, it just looks kind of like muddy towards the hairline here, because that's an area that the foundation didn't get to. But it's also just that it's a small amount, so she didn't use enough and blend it out enough. And then there's like this muddiness here, because I said that earlier. The contour was muddy here. It wasn't blended out completely here. It was just very muddy, not blended out right, and kind of placed in a really awkward point. That's where it wasn't blended correctly.
I put like a lot of powder underneath my eyes because I don't want my concealer moving like at all. I look up and then I just really like pat this.
So the Charlotte Tilbury powder is very nice. The powder puff, really nice idea as well. As far as using a lot of powder under the eyes, I don't really like that technique, because I feel like the under eyes have so much texture naturally that powder just tends to accentuate the texture. Now, if you feel like your concealer is creasing even with a normal amount of powder, then that might be an indication that you should get a different concealer, because if it's creasing under your eyes and moving, even if you've set it with a normal amount of powder and a powder puff with a normal amount of powder is going to do a great job at setting. If you feel like your concealer is moving after that, then that might be an indicator that your concealer is too hydrating of a consistency for you, and maybe you switch it out for another one.
It's a little too orange for me, I'm not gonna lie. If you have any suggestions for bronzers, please let me know. I would like a more cool tone one, but the problem is all the ones that I find are very gray and they just look muddy on my skin. So
the bronzer is a nice color, actually. It may be a tad bit too dark, not orange. So at this point is when you have to consider if you are trying to bronze or you're trying to contour, because what you're saying sounds like you're trying to contour, but what you're doing is contouring as well, but then you're saying that you want to use a bronzer, and you know, so at this point it's kind of like a little bit confusing, those two. So if you want to bronze, maybe use a larger brush, something a little bit more like this that's going to give you a larger variety, a larger area. If you want to contour, like it seems like what you're doing here, then yes, that brush that you're using is a nice one because it's a small one that's fitting in here, and that product is too warm for a contour. At this point, just think about, what am I trying to achieve with this product? Am I trying to bronze, which is to bring warmth into the face? Then yes, you could use something like, I really like the Juvia's Place Bronzing Duo. I use shade medium and it's a really nice light color, but it brings warmth into the skin. If you're trying to contour, then a more ashy tone is what you want.
now I'm gonna go in with, this is Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil.
You can really see when she faces the camera, like face forward, that the bronzer is super patchy here.
So of course it's not as clean as it should be because there is still makeup from last night.
So that brings me to my point that I said earlier. It's funny how we go first full circle. When you have makeup left over from last night, you know, it's going to just kind of muddy up the eyeliner that you put in the bottom, which is supposed to be a cream or flesh colored eyeliner to make your eyes look bigger, but you're just mixing it in with the product from the night before. So then, are you really getting the desired result out of your product, or are you kind of just wasting product at this point because it's just gonna darken up the color? So
I go in with a brown right here, and I just start on the outer part. I go like right below the white.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, sure, nice.
My favorite lip liner is So Rare from Juvia's Place, but I lost it. It's gotta be somewhere. So until I find it, this will have to do. I just kind of oh god, now too much came out.
It's pretty. I like that. Maybe just feather in the liner a little bit, maybe just because I feel like you can see a little bit of dramatic, but it's really not that big of a deal. I feel like it's pretty.
This is the final look. I think my sister's gonna be very impressed, even though she, like I said, super impressed. She's going to tell me that I should consider a career in permanent makeup. I mean, I think I could be the next Jaclyn Hill.
Well, that definitely consider a career in professional makeup. You are, I'm without words. Yeah, thank you so much to my sister for sending in this video, and I hope you guys learned something new. And yeah, if you want to send in a video, send it to me by email or DM. I would love to review your makeup skills. Overall, great, you know, great look overall. My sister looks gorgeous. My sister is gorgeous. Love the sister. Be nice to my sister in the comments or I'll come for you, okay? And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.